All right, let's talk about D2L. So if you navigate to the main course site, you'll see that there's already two announcements that have been posted. So down here, the first announcement is just a welcome announcement that kind of talks you through some of the things you should do when you first get logged into the course, taking a look at the syllabus and the schedule, which we'll talk about in our first class meeting on Tuesday. Note here that I recommend printing out the course schedule. I'm going to be printing out the course schedule just to make sure that I know what's happening when, and I would highly recommend that you guys do the same. Watch the intro videos that are posted, so this one and then the general intro one. If you have any questions, definitely ask. Other things to do, come to class on Tuesday. There's a link to the Zoom meeting here. The link to the Zoom meeting is littered all over this place, so you'll find it in a lot of locations. And then down here at the bottom, it starts to talk about some of the assignments. So reading the first chapter, participating in the first discussion, and then completing the homework quiz as well. So down here, it notes that you do need to attend the course. And by attending the course, that means more than just logging on. So ask a question or post on the discussion board or submit a quiz. As long as you do something by 11:59 on Thursday, January 28th, then you have established your attendance. If you don't establish attendance in that time frame, you have to get dropped from the class. So make sure that you're doing something here on D2L before that date. And then obviously, if you have any questions, definitely let me know. And then the other announcement that's posted in here are the group assignments. Again, groups don't actually matter until week 3, so we don't have to worry about this for the first few weeks, and it really only tells you where to go when we're on campus. Everybody's on campus at the same time. We're just going to be in 2 different rooms to help maintain social distancing requirements. One group will be with me, and then another group will be with a secondary instructor. If you find that your name is not listed in one of these groups, let me know, and I will put you in one of those groups. So let's take a look in the course materials section in the content. You'll notice that over here on the left-hand side, there is a getting started module, and then there are weekly modules for every week of the semester. This is going to help us keep organized and understanding what we're supposed to be working on and what we're supposed to be submitting and how we're supposed to be submitting it. Because some things are submitted to me in person when you see me on campus, some things are submitted over D2L. So in the getting started module here, we have a checklist. So I post checklists every week. I think it's a great way to keep us on track. We'll take a look at that here in a second, but you'll also notice that there are a couple of videos as well as the syllabus and the schedule and our Zoom meeting link. So all of those things can be accessed right here in the getting started module. If you look at the getting started checklist, these are all of the things you need to do to get started in the course. And we're going to have these every week, so you'll know what are all of the things that you need to do that week for Bio 105. So here in our getting started checklist, we have to watch the videos, read the syllabus, print the schedule, access the textbook. You can see that there's lots of ways to access the textbook. You can look at it on your computer, you can look at it on your phone, you can download a PDF. You can purchase a paper copy if you want that physical book in front of you. You can definitely do that. It's not very expensive on Amazon. It's like 20 bucks or something like that. But then I also have it in all of our weekly modules. Each chapter that we're focusing on that week, the link to that PDF of that chapter is in the weekly module. If you have questions, ask them. And then this last one here, it says to explore week 1 content. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Actually, before we do that, we can look at the syllabus and the schedule. We're going to talk about this on Tuesday, but just so you know what it looks like, here's our syllabus. This has all of the information for our course, including how you get a grade in this class. So I would recommend taking a look at this before we meet on Tuesday, but we are going to go over it on Tuesday also. And then the schedule, you'll see here. So our schedule is broken down into all of the weeks, and every single day of the week is listed here in the schedule, and what we're doing and what is due on those days is all listed. And then there's another column here on the other side of things that you just need to do at some point during that week. So you'll see here in the first week on Tuesday, we're going to meet on Zoom and talk about chapter 1. On Thursday, we're going to meet on Zoom and talk about chapter 2. On Friday, you have a discussion post due, and then by Sunday, you have your response post to the discussion board and homework quiz 1 that's due. So most of the weeks look pretty similar, but there are a few weeks that look a little different, and we'll talk about those before each of those weeks happen. Okay, so if we go into the week 1 module, all of the weeks kind of look the same. They all have the same components. So if you look over here, you'll see there's an introduction section, the chapter, lab information, the weekly discussion, and the homework quiz. So all of our weeks are pretty much going to have all of these components. If you look at all of those components in the introduction, you'll see here that we have our week 1 checklist. I generally also post videos on every Monday of these weeks to kind of just talk you through what all is due that week. So if you like the video format a little bit better, there's that option for you. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might post the videos on Monday. They might be posted sort of at the end of the previous week. So if you want to get a jump start on the following week, that might be an option for you as well. You'll see here that we have our chapter material. Within our chapter material, we have the actual chapter. This is where you're going to find the PDF of the chapter, as well as a reading guide that can help you take notes for the chapter if you want a little bit of a guided reading experience. We also have chapter videos. You'll see in the schedule, and if you've watched the other intro video, I talked about it a little bit there as well. But sometimes I don't get to talk about the material in as much detail as I would like. So we have these videos that are recorded by another Bio 105 professor, and he's able to go into a little bit more detail about some of the topics. So each week you should be reading the chapter and you should be watching all of these chapter videos. These videos down here from other sources are not required. They're just here in case you need a little bit of extra explanation. Sometimes just hearing it explained a little bit differently from somebody else makes all the difference. So there's just some other options for you. And if none of these help, YouTube is amazing, right? Like you can find explanations for anything on there. So I would highly recommend finding other video sources that might help you if you're struggling a little bit with a certain topic. And then down here, there's a folder for the lecture slides. That's where you will find the lecture slides that I use. I typically don't finish working on them until right before class, so they won't be posted until after class, but that's where you can find them. So as you're taking notes in class, keep in mind that everything on the slide is going to be available to you. So if you are taking notes, I would recommend just taking notes on the things that we're talking about rather than what's written on the slide. That's just a waste of your time because I'm going to give you all of those words. So that will be provided to you. So in week 1, we don't have a lab, so there's nothing in our lab information section. In our weekly discussion post here, we have a link to that discussion board and then a reminder that that initial post is due on Friday and the response post is due on Sunday. And then down here for the homework quiz, you've got a link to that quiz. It's going to cover everything we talk about that week. So this is the link to get there. You'll have 2 attempts. So if you don't really like your grade the first time, feel free to try it again. You're not going to know which questions you missed, but you will know your grade. So that will give you enough information to decide if you want to take it again. And out of those 2 attempts, whichever attempt is higher, that's going to be your final grade. So if you look into the following weeks, they're going to look pretty similar. We have our intro, our chapter, lab, discussion, quiz. So all of these weeks look pretty much the same. And within each week, all of these checklists also look pretty much the same. This is all the things you need to do that week. So in our first week, I would recommend watching the intro video that I'm going to post in that module, reading the chapter, watching the videos, going to the Zoom meeting on Tuesday, going to the Zoom meeting on Thursday. And these are all the things you have to turn in. So this is going to be a great way to stay on track for the things that we need to turn in. So as always, if you have any questions, let me know. But otherwise, I will just see you guys in Zoom on Tuesday, January 19th.